Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Cameron van Orman, Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at Planview. Cameron, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Epic, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, fantastic. Well, great to see you and looking forward to this short conversation that we have with great leaders like you. Cameron, give us an overview of a Plan View and your journey joining Plan View as a Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer.
Yeah, well, I've been at Planview just about 5 years now, and Planview really exists to help our customers, prioritize all this demand for new project and product initiatives. How do you source these great ideas? How do you prioritize, scenario plan, understand capacity and resources, and then drive it through to team execution? So make sure you're doing the right stuff and make sure you're doing it right to have maximum outcomes for your company and for your company's customers. It's been a neat journey here at Planview. We've changed pretty significantly in the last several years as far as the breadth of capabilities we're able to offer our customers.
That's fantastic. And Cameron, how did you get involved with Plan View in the beginning? What's your background?
Yeah, so a varied background, as is my title. So I'm both a reformed consultant, so doing strategy consulting, and then transitioned into industry and had a variety of strategy roles, but also a lot of marketing roles. And so the combination of those two kind of led me here to helping internally drive our company's strategy, source great ideas, same thing, prioritize, focus on the key initiatives, project or product initiatives that matter and drive the execution, but also making sure we're spreading, creating awareness for the company, our solutions, our customers, and driving demand in the marketplace for them as well.
Nice. Now, Cameron, how does Plan View differentiate itself in the marketplace with other similar companies in the project portfolio management solutions?
Yeah, what I'd argue, there are not a lot of similar companies. There's a lot of individual tool providers out there that are solving some piece of the problem. They may be doing project management. They
Mm.
could be doing a variety of tools, work management. If you think about all the Asanas and smart sheets of the world out there, there's lots of work management capabilities. There's lots of kind of service desk management who are dealing with tickets and the flow of tickets. We really look and sit above all those different kind of tools and help you bring all the information together across all your product initiatives, project initiatives. Some companies are project only, some are agile or product only. We really see companies that we talk to. The reality is it's a hybrid.
Mm.
You're not going to be able to standardize your operating model, whether it's projects or products. It's a hybrid reality. Some tools and methodologies work for some kind of work, others for other types of work. We want to sit across all of it and help you surface up, connect all the data, all the insights, make better decisions across the types of initiatives and work methodologies and tooling, make the right decisions, drive it down, and can be able to iterate on that rapidly and quickly so you don't have as much waste in the system.
Yeah. I remember in the days, I think it was like what, like 5 years, you guys acquired Spigot. Was it Spigot?
Yes, yep. That spigot is what we call Planview Idea Place. We not many people would know what a spigot is or a lean kit. We've gone through and tried to make all our product names a little bit more descriptive. But yes, Spigot, now known as Idea Place, really is about our innovation, crowdsourcing innovation front end. How do you surface all the right ideas? Because they're not just limited to the select few in a company.
Yeah. Now, can you highlight any recent innovations or upcoming technology developments that PlanView is particularly excited or you're excited about?
Yeah. Well, look, Epi, if I didn't talk about generative AI, shame on me. And look, like obviously there's tons of news and noise out there. We have Planview Copilot that sits on top of our core products, helping you find the needle in the haystack, get the information. But the key is the data upon which an LLM or generative AI, in our cases, Copilot sits on. We've got access to not just our solutions, but through our Flow fabric, we have integrations to all the different work management tools that are out there. So being able to collect all the work and resource information across your enterprise, whether some of the data sits in Smartsheet or Asana or Project Place or Agile Place or Azure DevOps or Jira or the 50 instances of Jira that a company likely has, in addition to our methodologies and RIP and all our project and financial and capacity data that's managed in Planview, that distributed data set, when you collect it all and then you have to make sense of it, have it be related to each other. It's the data set that we're most excited about. That's what you can apply, LLMs or large language models to that data set to really surface up insights and then take action on those back through the integrations into the various toolings throughout the company.
Yeah. Now, what are some common challenges that you see in organizations face with such organizations like in tools and so on, everything else, like because they probably subscribe to tons of tools. So when you guys come in, what do you think? What do you see that organizations are pretty much most common challenges they face?
Yeah, Epi, we see two pretty common challenges. One is tool sprawl, exactly what you laid out, right? I've got a road mapping tool that's using PowerPoint, which is terrible. Don't use PowerPoint for road mapping, please. But they'll have a road mapping tool in one area. They'll have a performance management system like OKRs or objectives and key results. They'll have those in some other. Those will be in HR, and we look at them once or twice a year to judge performance. And we've got different tools. We've got each of our functions has a project management tool, and each of the teams has homegrown their own. And so first off, you have just sort of the sprawl of tooling infrastructure, which is costly, hard to maintain, hard to manage. But the second is the data from all those tools. You're not going to standardize. We don't look. No company is able to really go back 40 years in like the era of the mainframe and try and standardize a certain work management interface for all their work. That's just we're not in that as employees or users. That fallacy of standardization. So how do you have the right tool ecosystem, fit for purpose tools, but you've got to be able to extract the information, the data, curate it together so it makes sense. That will allow you to then drive insights collectively, because you don't want to have siloed sub-optimization for each work tool or each work methodology. Fit for purpose tools, but you've got to get the data out, make sense of it. It's not just a dumb data lake.
Mm.
It's got to have some relational elements. A project is a project is a project is a project. How do you do that across all of it so that then you can quickly see the insights and take actions to drive better outcomes?
Yeah, very well said. Cameron, talk about leadership. For some people, it's hard. For some people, it's a challenge. For some people, they see it as a way of growth. How do you define your leadership style as the chief strategy and marketing officer, and what principles guide your decision making?
Well, look, Epi, it's funny. The term servant leader has kind of fallen off the journalistic narrative the last couple of years, but I would still use that to describe sort of our leadership style, my leadership style, but also the company.
Mm,
How do you have the right combination of empowerment and accountability? Look, we use, we're an agile, we apply agile not just in development, but across our entire company. To me, as a chief strategy officer, that's critical because, look, you have to have humility in
mm,
creating strategies. your capabilities change, your customers' requirements change, the competitors certainly change. You have any macroeconomic conditions can change. So it's, setting the strategy is a little bit of art and science, but you have to have that humility to say it's going to change. How do you sense that change, bottoms up, outside in, and then drive that change quickly down into the teams as quickly as possible? You have to empower the teams, and using OKRs and having initiatives and annual OKRs. And we do agile planning. The whole company does PI. Next week is PI planning for the company.
Wow.
Whether you're in a success team, a marketing team, a development team, finance, we're agile top to bottom. But that's both kind of my leadership style as well as the company's. It's you have to blend humility and and then driving accountability and engagement and empowerment with the people. And if you're, whatever it is, however broad your scope is, having that connectivity and saying, look, I'm not going to know everything. I've got to get the information out of the team, understand it. They're going to source the ideas. We share initiatives, but the teams determine the deliverables. What are they going to go deliver that adds value? If you've done a good job of articulating what value looks like, setting up, annual and quarterly kind of PI objectives, then you're going to unleash and unlock so much creativity, so much energy and engagement, across the company and across your team. So that wasn't super succinct, Epi, but there's some words
Oh,
around that.
definitely, it's the way where you gotta step up forward and also giving people an opportunity to see you in action and showing that, like you said, that the humility is the key to having that drive, that leadership that you want to attract and you want to empower them. So that's a great way to do it. Now, in terms of innovations, obviously there's this has been used and abused everywhere. Innovation, innovation. You go everywhere, you hear it. But how do you balance this short-term innovation goals with long-term, more strategic objectives within an organization?
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's a choice. I think there's a high, relationship between understanding what your long-term objectives are. Innovation is good for short term and for long term. And I think, Epi, I want to pivot slightly to say, where do we get these innovation ideas from? Um, and look, obviously, it would be overly simplified to say, talk to your customers, look at the marketplace, talk to the analysts. Of course, we do all those things. But I actually want to talk a little bit about some of our customers sourcing ideas and innovation. Like you mentioned earlier, the company and the product formerly known as Spigot, now known as Planview Idea Place. The crowdsourcing of ideas to me is so important because good ideas aren't limited to a special few people. I want to talk about one customer. I actually personally was involved in this deal. It's probably, and I won't name the names, but I'll give you enough insights. Probably the largest university merger in global history just kind of went down over in Australia, New Zealand.
I just Googled
And and what's neat about it is they're bringing two giant universities together that are in the same town that have been, a little bit of rivals for 100+ years.
it.
Everything was different intentionally. They were in the same town, so they had stark their competition was each other, and they wanted to create a clear contrast. But now the legislatures are bringing them together. And is it just the chancellors that have the best ideas? Is it just their combined executive leadership team that has the best ideas? Is it the 12,000 employees that have the best ideas about what should the facilities look like? What should the curriculum look like? The architectures. I mean, everything is different, but how do you figure out not just is it university A or university B, but what's the new university of the future? What's
Mm.
that look like? And they're crowdsourcing ideas from the leadership teams, from the 12,000 employees on both sides, and ultimately they're going to crowdsource it from the 700,000 alumni between the two universities. And look, you got to, when you open up the aperture for ideas, then you have to figure out the right ways. How do you filter it, review it, scan it, score it, prioritize it? But it's a really exciting, non-traditional use case of crowdsourcing ideas, and recognizing in order for the two chancellors and the legislature to create the truly new university of the future, it's not just does A's idea better than B's or B's better than A, but what are the new ideas
Yeah, yeah,
of how to go make this work?
yeah.
Um,
Well, it
so
takes
anyway, that's a neat source of innovation and ideation.
yeah, well, it takes a leadership, right? So it takes a leadership to make such decision to open up, and we've seen all the time when the crowdsourcing conversation starts. It's for some leaders it's like a no-no. For some leaders, like, well, this is interesting. Let's see what we can do here, and that opens up a lot of doors. And this is
Yeah. Well, and to think about the population, where can you get ideas from, right? That's worthy of a brief discussion, right? Is it just your leadership team that sources the best ideas? Is it just your employees? Is it just your customers? We've got another customer who's kind of in the automaking industry. They're not one of the big global. They make sort of off-road vehicles and snowmobiles and things like that. Um, they're using Idea Place to source ideas from their distributors.
mm,
They're often really close. They're right there in each town or in each city or state or country, and interacting with customers every day, trying to understand what they want, what features or capabilities are valuable. And so they're trying to collect from across the global dealer network. Hey, what are some of the ideas? And they've created new models of vehicles based on the ideas they're getting back from their distributors.
yeah, very powerful if you know how to use it, if you know how to do it correctly. But that's also where people need to find you and to say, well, there are people who and companies who understand this very well, how to design it and how to go about it. And I think Planview fits that bill very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, you don't just want the suggestion box, the digital suggestion box that gets ignored. That would be counter to your objectives. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Cameron, I wish we have more time. This is a short format conversation. Last question. What does a word bold mean to you?
Bold. It means kind of taking risks and recognizing you do not have to be right 100% of the time. Be right more often than you're wrong. Make decisions, but have that humility to say, hey, the worst thing people do is they have to be right 100% of the time in their decisions. They won't be bold. They're going to be fearful of making a mistake. Be bold, make decisions. But when you've made a wrong decision, follow it up with a good decision. Because if you're trying to be right 100% of the time, you'll pretend that bad decision never happened. You'll justify it, rationalize it for way too long. Make a bunch of decisions, be bold with them, and when you make a bad one, rectify it, follow it up with a good one.
And with that, always be bold, Cameron. Congrats to all of your successes and achievements. Thank you for joining me in this Bold Talk series and look forward to seeing you again soon. Until next time, take care, be great, be bold always.